Now that his wing was fully healed, Tahir was able to fly once again, which felt amazing. Even with Yasuka and Soraya riding on his back, he didn't mind it one bit, as he felt a lot freer in the air. Everything felt nice and peaceful for a brief moment. "How long until we get to the city?" Nasir asked. "Just when I thought we finally have some peace and quiet," he thought to himself in annoyance. "We'll be there soon," Gordafari assured him. "You never been to Istakiri before?" "Not really, no," Nasir admitted with a shake of his head. "What's it usually like?" "It's very crowded, to say the least," Gordafari admitted. "Lots of bazaars and many people living there. But despite its prosperous exterior, it's not really the kind of place to be trusted." "Really? Why?" Nasir asked with concern. "Because it's also a hot spot for slave traders," Gordafari revealed in a grim tone. This caused Soraya and Yasuka to gasp in horror, with Nasir also looking rather uncomfortable the moment he heard this. Even Tahir was disgusted at hearing this, if his grimace was of any indication. "Slavery? Here? It's that open?" Nasir asked in horror. "Unfortunately, yes," Gordafari confirmed with a grimace. "Ever since Dahak took over Avesta, he allowed all these scumbags and crooks that live within the land to do whatever they please, as long as they gave him tribute. Men, women, children, even the elderly. No one was spared from his cruelty, and the fact that he even took some slaves for his own made it worse." "Seriously? He's that depraved?" Nasir responded in disgust. "Yes, he is," Gordafari responded with a nod before narrowing her eyes. "Which is why we need to take him down as soon as possible. Only then will true order and peace return." "Agreed," Gazdaham agreed as he overheard their conversation. "Looks like we're here." "Yes, we are," Tahir announced. "I can see the city from here, and it's as big as Gordafari had said." "Whoa," Soraya said in amazement at the sight of the city. As Gordafari had said, it was pretty big due to it being one of the most prosperous locations in Avesta. It had large towers with a giant dome building seen around the middle area, though it was partially surrounded by a great wall. She could only assume it was meant to keep intruders out, but given its seedy reputation, according to Gordafari, she wondered if it was really meant to keep intruders out or to keep people from escaping. "I think I can hear the marketplace vendors there," Yasuka called out to the others. "Then I must be extra busy today," Gazdaham commented right when they arrived at the front area of the city. Though they received some funny looks from the guards when it came to Tahir, they decided not to look into it since Gazdaham was with them and had more animal skins and game meat he wished to trade with the bazaars there. "Alright everyone, this is where we must stop. Daughter, make sure those kids are safe and sound under your care during their journey. And come back to me once you find the last survivor, whoever they are." "I will, Padar," Gordafari replied, but not before sharing a hug with her father. "I won't let you down." "I know you won't," Gazdaham said with great confidence. "Good luck on your journey. May Omarazda be with you." "And you too, Chief," Soraya replied with a nod. "Alright everyone, let's go." Tahir agreed with a nod, but not before giving a nod of respect to Gazdaham as well, before leaving with his sister and friend. Gordafari, Nasir, and Anzor followed after them with horses of their own, though Anzor had to walk beside his master and comrade, though he was used to it at this point. Gazdaham's group watched as they saw Gordafari and her group leave their line of sight, with one of the Furumi tribe warriors glancing at Gazdaham with concern. "While I don't doubt her skills, will she be able to come back safely?" he asked. "I hope so. I believe she will, but I still pray that she makes it back home," Gazdaham admitted before turning to face the entrance of the city. "Come on, we need to get some more wares and money for the next few weeks, and hopefully we'll be able to get more answers on what Dahak's next plan is." "Right," the rest of the warriors agreed before bringing their horses and carts inside the city walls. Meanwhile, Yasuka continued to guide the group to where Simurgh resided, using her memories and the wind's directions. Tahir glided in the air, feeling the wind ruffle and pass through his feathers in a comforting manner, while Soraya remained seated on his back and observed the wilderness around them. The more they traveled, the less trees and vegetation appeared as they began entering the desert part of Avesta. Like most deserts, it was hot and humid, whilst being dry due to the lack of water. "If we go down this path, we should be able to get to the Alborz mountains much quicker," Yasuka said as she pointed at the landscape in front of her. "You'll know it when you smell the sea." "Thanks, Yasuka," Tahir said before calling out to the ones down below. "Hey guys, Yasuka said we need to keep going down this path to get to Simurgh." Understood, Gordafari replied with a nod. We're lucky to have someone to help guide us to where Simurgh lives. Yes, we are, Nasir agreed. I wish I could fly with them as well, especially with the princess, Gordafari teased, causing Nasir to blush and turn away in embarrassment, though he knew that she was onto something, but he didn't want to admit it, hence why he decided to change the subject by talking to Tahir. Can't I ride on your back sometime? Nasir asked. You know, in case things go wrong and we can't walk up the mountain using our horses? No, Tahir denied. I'm already carrying my sister and friend on my back, plus I still haven't forgiven you for damaging my wing. Oh, come on! That was one time! Nasir complained. Don't you think you're being too hard on him, brother? Soraya asked with concern. He already apologized before. I think you're just being spiteful at this point. Need I remind you that he also broke Jessica's arm and shot you with an arrow? Tahir pointed out with a raised brow. I said I was sorry about that too! Nasir shouted in annoyance. Also, I can hear everything you're saying down here! I'm aware of the fact, thank you. Tahir deadpan. Anyways, we need to focus on getting to the mountain before it gets dark. We don't want to get attacked by any more D's while we're at it. Well, the sun is still up, and burning hot too, Soraya commented as she shielded her eyes from the harsh sunlight. If there's an oasis nearby, we can take a break and freshen up ourselves if we can. Good idea, Tahir agreed with a nod as he surveyed the area. Now, where can we find an oasis around here? As soon as he said this, he spotted something in the horizon and squinted his eyes to get a better look, only to widen them when he saw that it was, in fact, an oasis. Huh, what do you know? He thought to himself in surprise. An actual oasis out here in the desert. Wait, I have to make sure this isn't some trap set by Dahak's allies. But who to pick would chicken the scene? Wait, I think I know who. Hey guys! Tahir shouted, catching everyone's attention. I think there's an oasis nearby, but I want to make sure it's safe for all of us. Nasir, do you mind checking it out to see if it's safe and not a trap? Oh, me? Nasir replied in shock. Sure, give me 1 sec. Let's go, Anzor. Anzor barked in response before following his master. Be careful! Gordafari cried out as she and the others watched him and his dog head to the oasis. The hunter and his dog, along with the horse he rode on, arrived at the vegetative area and took in the scenery as well as the many flora that resided there. He was amazed by how much nature had flourished in the desert, even if it was limited to one specific area. It amazes me how much life grows here, despite the harsh conditions. Surely it could only be the work of Omorasta if something this beautiful exists out here. These fruits look edible, especially these grapes. Only one way to find out. Plucking one of the grapes hanging from a nearby tree, he brought it to a stream of water nearby and washed it before picking one of the berries and popping it into his mouth. After chewing on it for a bit, he widened his eyes in surprise before smiling as he took in the sweet, juicy taste of the grapes. These are delicious, he commented as he chewed on the rest of the grapes before realizing something. Not to mention, the rest of this place seems legit and safe to rest for a while. Anzor, do you mind bringing the others here? When he asked this to his dog, he saw him drinking from the stream as well, and chuckled before patting his back. Okay, you can take a drink first. You earned it. Meanwhile, outside of the oasis, the rest of the group continued to remain where they were, with Tahir having landed on the ground to rest his wings. Tension filled the air as the group wondered what took Nasir and Anzor so long, with Soraya being the most worried. They're taking much longer than I expected, Soraya commented before turning to Gordafari. You don't suppose something happened to them in there, right? I'm not sure, the warrior woman responded with a shrug. Nasir's very thorough when it comes to scouting certain areas, so he's probably checking to make sure everything is safe, and I mean everything. I hope he finishes up and reports back to us soon, Tahir said with a frown. We can't stay out in the sun for too long lest we get dehydrated. Of course, the group heard barking in the distance and saw Anzor running towards them in a hurry. Gordafari noticed that his mouth looked wet, as if he just drank something. Well, either that, or he was slobbering a lot for whatever reason. What is it, boy? Did you find something? Is Nasir okay? Gordafari asked. Anzor nodded his head before continuing to bark and gestured to the oasis. Realizing what this meant, she turned to the others and pointed at the area. Guys, I think he's saying Nasir confirmed that it was okay to stay in the oasis. Oh, thank Omarasta, Soraya said in relief. I swear, if I don't get to drink some fresh water right now, I'm gonna die of heat stroke. Same here, Jessica agreed as she wiped the sweat off her brow. We should hurry so as to not make Nasir wait. Fine, Tahir said. Let's go already. I could use this as a chance to cool off as well. The four then ran to the oasis, where they found Nasir sitting on his knees, washing his face with the water from the stream. Once he finished washing up, he turned to the others with a grin. "Hey guys!" Nasir greeted as he brought out some of the grapes. "Want some? Don't worry, I checked, they're safe." "Oh, sure, thank you," Soraya replied as she took some of the berries and tasted them for herself. "So this place is safe after all," Tahir commented before turning to Nasir with a slight grin. "You did a good job making sure it was safe for all of us to stay in." "Thanks," Nasir responded with a relieved grin. "That's probably the nicest thing you've said to me so far." "Don't push your luck," Tahir said in a deadpan tone, causing Nasir to frown. "Even so, this should be a good spot to rejuvenate ourselves and the horses. We still have some food on us, right?" "Yes, we do," Jessica confirmed as she pulled out some of the food supplies they have. "This should last us for a week at most. Let's try to eat some of it while rationing the others for later." The food that she and Gryphon pulled out of the bags they carried were various fruits and vegetables, as well as some meat, which Nasir and Soraya carefully made a fire to cook over. Jessica made sure to refill their canteens with fresh water from the stream, while Gryphon fed the horses. The relaxing scenery of the oasis allowed for the group to rest for a bit, especially with the trees providing natural shade for them all. Even Tahir and Anzor found themselves relaxing as they laid on the ground, with the canine slumbering next to Tahir. Overall, it was a miracle that they managed to find a place like this out in the middle of the desert. "It's so nice to relax for a bit," Soraya admitted. "If we weren't in such a hurry to take down Dahak and his forces, we could stay here for the day and maybe spend the night." "Yes, that would be ideal," Nasir agreed. "Just feeling the breeze wafting through your hair, eating delicious fruits, and drinking nice, fresh water. Nothing beats life than this." "Yeah, that would be nice," Soraya said. The two of them, along with the rest of their teammates, relaxed in a comforting silence as they rejuvenated themselves within the oasis. For a brief moment, it seemed as though their troubles were far away, and they could just relax for a bit longer. But Soraya knew deep down that they couldn't stay here forever and needed to get moving. The others had the same idea once they were fully rested and full-bellied as they got back on their feet and packed all their remaining supplies before moving on. Of course, Jessica, Soraya, and Nasir made sure to pick some extra fruits just in case before leaving. Though it pained Soraya to leave the oasis, she knew that it was necessary in order to get to the location she and her crew were headed. "Hopefully we get a chance to visit this place again," Soraya hoped in her heart. "Come on, we gotta go," Tahir said to his sister in a gentle tone. "We need to get to Simurgh before night comes." "Right." Soraya agreed as she got on her brother's back with Jessica. The three of them flew in the air with Nasir, Gryphon, and Anzor following after them with their horses. Eventually, after several hours of riding and flying, along with taking a few breaks here and there, they finally arrived at the Alborz Mountains, and like Jessica said, the Mazda Sea was close by and could be smelled by everyone. "Here we are," Jessica said. "Welcome to the Alborz Mountains, everyone." "So this is what it looks like in person," Soraya said. "I've heard that it was pretty big, but this is way bigger than I imagined. I think I flew past this area one time," Tahir recalled. "Who knew I'd be coming back here again?" "So this is where Simurgh has been living this whole time?" Nasir commented. "How come no one has seen her in a while? I mean, you'd think a large bird like her would be more noticeable to people, but I guess not." "No one knows for sure," Jessica explained. "It's possible that due to the increasing diva tax, she hasn't been able to fly across Avesta as much as she normally can. That, and the fact that Dahak has been trying to destroy most of the natural lands in Avesta so he can expand his empire," Tahir revealed in a dark tone, causing the others to turn to him in shock. "It's true. I saw the devastation he was bringing when it came to the forests. Cut down trees, poisoned water, animals being killed for sport, and twisted pleasure rather than for food. Not to mention, it even affected some of the Gryphons that I encountered in the past." "Really? It was that bad?" Jessica asked in horror. "Just when I thought I couldn't hate Dahak even more," Soraya snarled. "Same here," Nasir admitted with a scowl. "It's one thing to ruin the lives of humans, but to ruin nature as well? At this rate, he's basically tarnishing everything that Omorasta made for everyone. Which is why we need to take him down as soon as possible," Gryphon said in a determined tone. "But first, we need to get up to the top of the mountains and find Simurgh." Question, how exactly do we get up there?" Nasir asked as he pointed at the mountain. "There doesn't seem to be a clear path for us to take." "Oh, simple. I can do this," Jessica revealed as she spread her arms out, causing a large cloud to appear that scooped everyone up before floating higher towards the mountains. Even the horses, Anzor and Tahir, were taken aback by the sudden appearance of the cloud, with the horses neighing in surprise. Despite this, the group was both surprised and impressed by what just happened.
Whoa, I didn't know you could do that!
Soraya exclaimed in shock. Well, I have been training my abilities these past 6 months, Yasuka explained with a smile. All sky nuns and monks are supposed to learn this technique even during their apprenticeship. Wow, Nasira responded. I gotta say, floating on a cloud is a lot more fun than I imagined. Yes, it is, Soraya agreed. It feels so light and fluffy, like a blanket. Glad to see you all like it, Yasuka said with a giggle. Now, I just need to remain focused and find Simurgh. You won't need to do that, my child, for I am already here, a deep feminine voice called out, surprising everyone. The voice seemed to boom and echo around them, with even the ground and trees that were nearby appearing to shiver from the impact alone. What? Who goes there? Gordafari shouted as she pulled out a sword in a panic. Do not fear, the voice called out. Lay down your weapons and I shall take you to my domain. Domain? Soraya questioned until she realized something. Wait a second. You wouldn't happen to be... Yes, I am Simurgh, the voice confirmed. I am aware of your intentions to visit me and ask for my assistance, but in order to do so, I must ask that you lower your weapon and not attack me. Well, you heard her, Tahir said to Gordafari. Lower your weapon so we can meet Simurgh already. Okay, if you insist, Gordafari replied as she did so reluctantly. Once she sheathed her sword, the wind suddenly shifted and prompted the group to yelp in shock as the cloud they were on violently swerved to the left. The horses began to neigh in panic while Anzor barked in distress, prompting Nasir to grab his dog in an attempt to console him. It's okay, buddy. We'll get through this. I promise. Nasir assured his canine companion. Where are we going? Soraya asked Yasuka. I don't know. I can't control it. Yasuka revealed in a panic. Oh, everybody hold on! The group yelled or screamed in shock as they found themselves crashing right into the ground, with Yasuka's cloud being the only thing that managed to soften the fall. But even then, it did little to prevent any injuries, as some of them ended up with scrapes, bruises, and minor concussions. Is everyone alright? Gordafari asked as she recovered from her concussion first. What about the horses? Are they alright? Yes, they are, Yasuka assured the warrior woman as she went to the horses, who were still panicking over the sudden wind shift. There. It'll be okay. You'll be okay. Does anyone want me to heal their injuries? No, thanks. I'm fine, Soraya responded as she found herself being shielded from the impact by Tahir. But I believe my brother may need some healing. I'll do it right away, Yasuka exclaimed as she quickly used her powers on Tahir to heal his injuries after he took the brunt of the landing. Anzor, are you okay? Nasir asked as he too had taken the brunt of the fall for his dog. His canine companion responded by barking and licking his face affectionately, prompting Nasir to breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, thank God, Marasta. I'm so glad. Where are we? Gordafari asked as she took a look at her surroundings. He just realized that the group was inside a large cave of some kind with lit torches hanging on the walls, only the space made it much darker than normal. You are in my domain, child, the female voice from before replied. This prompted everyone to stop what they were doing and slowly turn their heads to the source of the voice. Suddenly, crawling out of the darkness was a large bird, only this was no ordinary bird. Rather, it was a large avian that had rainbow-colored feathers and was bigger than any bird or animal the group had seen before. She managed to even dwarf over Tahir, and he was pretty big, even in his Gryphon form. Anzor and the horses bowed their heads in a submissive manner at the sight of the winged beast, with Tahir almost doing the same until he stopped himself. He couldn't show fear in the eyes of the winged beast, now known as Simurgh, especially since he had many questions he needed to ask of her. Greetings, Simurgh, Tahir said in a regal tone. My name is Tahir, firstborn prince and heir to the throne, and this is my sister, Princess Soraya of Bahar. These are our comrades, Yasuka, Nasir, and Gordafari, and they came here to help us regarding Dahak. I know who you are, Simurgh revealed. I know all, for I hear all within Avesta, and I know you are seeking the last member of the Rumi tribe. So you know where they are? Soraya asked hopefully. Indeed I do, Simurgh confirmed with a nod. In fact, he's here right now with me. I took him in many years ago when Dahak and his equally treacherous forces destroyed his tribe, and he was forced to go into hiding. Really? Then where is he now? Tahir asked. The moment he asked this, Simurgh let out a loud bird cry that shook the cave they were in, with some, like Yasika, Soraya, and Nasir, having to cover their ears from the loudness of her cries. Even Tahir and Gordafari weren't immune to it, as they winced from the loudness, with the horses and Anzor also being frightened by the noise. After Simurgh finished letting out her shrill bird cries, silence remained in the cave until they heard footsteps approaching them. "Yes, mother, I'm here!" A loud, deep, and masculine voice was heard. The group tensed up a bit as they heard the footsteps coming closer, but remained calm since Simurgh did tell them to lower their weapons. As soon as the source of the voice appeared before them, the group was stunned by how tall and muscular he was. Even if he wasn't as tall as Gazdam, he was still a lot taller than Gordafari. The fact that he had scars on his body made the others wonder just how strong he was and who or what could have injured him so much. After staring at them for a few seconds, he spoke up. Gordafari, in particular, couldn't help but ogle at his broad chest and muscles, though she quickly tried to look away so as to not show disrespect. "Oh, hello," he agreed. "Are you visitors?" "Yes, you could say that," Soraya confirmed as she took a step forward. "My name is Princess Soraya of the Kingdom of Bahar, and this is my brother, Prince Tahir. These are our friends, Yasika, Gordafari, Nasir, and Anzor. We came here on behalf of Bahar, the Sky Monk Sanctuary, and the Frumi tribe in order to request aid if you're willing to do so." "Sure," the burly man replied. "What do you wish for me to do?" "We were told that you are the last member of the Rumi tribe and could help us in our quest to take down Dahak," Nasir explained. Of course, the moment he said this, the man stiffened up before seemingly glaring at everyone in the room, which was enough to make them feel a chill up their spines. Nasir backed away in slight fear as he attempted to apologize to the man. "Oh, sorry, didn't mean to bring up bad memories or anything like that." "What? Oh, no, it's fine," the man replied. "Apologies for scaring you. It's just, whenever I hear about that accursed demon man, I feel the urge to break something." "Heh. Don't we all at this point?" Tahir agreed, prompting the man to stare at him in surprise. "Oh my goodness, you can talk?" the man asked in shock, prompting the others to snicker, while Tahir rolled his eyes in annoyance. "Yes, I could talk," Tahir revealed. "My sister did say that I was a prince for a reason." "Wait, you really are siblings? How does that work?" the man asked in confusion. "It's a long story," Tahir replied in mild annoyance. "Wait, before we get to that, what was your name again?" Gordafari asked. "Simurgh didn't get a chance to tell us earlier." "Oh, my name?" the tall man replied. "My name is Rostam, and I would be honored to join your rebellion."